In the Beyblade universe, we have many great characters that rival the main character, and Kai Hiwatari was a reflection of that. Kai was my favorite character from the Beyblade original series, and I don't just mean this because we have the same name. He has this personality that showed a lot of himself and his inner struggles. I had just rewatched the series not too long ago, and it was fun to see Kai and learn more about him now than before. After rewatching the series and seeing more of Kai, he truly is an interesting character. He was easily the best dressed in every season with many different outfits. He stood as a complex and enigmatic figure within the realm of animated storytelling. He was born into the Hiwatari family, and his journey unfolded as a tale of ambition, rivalry, and self-discovery. Also, having blue stripes on his face tried to bring a more menacing appeal to his character. As Kai is shown more into the series, it's hard to know his stance in the group. One minute he's as cold as ice, the next he's compassionate and willing, and then once again he's cold. It's hard to know just who was the real him. Kai's introduction could sway a lot of people into liking the show. The group needed someone who was different from the others. Someone who cared about winning and put it above everything. He was always serious and never proclaimed to have fun during Beyblading, yet showed some of the most emotion when actually Beyblading. Kai is great at being deceptive. He likes to keep people guessing his next move and always wondering what he would do next. He really is an iconic mystery. He really is a dynamic character and has a lot of depth to him that makes him so wonderful. In the beginning of the series, we see Kai starting out as an antagonist, and through the first 10 episodes after losing to Titan, next thing you know, he's the leader of their team for the World Championships. It was quite a shocker honestly, as it looked like he wanted nothing to do with these guys, but yet still accepts the offer to join their team. Kai seems like the huge loner, but you start to question if he actually is. He's been on many teams on the show, and he just doesn't talk much and stays quiet, but you have to do a little bit to be on a team, right? You could say Kai is putting on a bad boy act, but I don't think this is the case. In reality, Kai has issues inside himself and truly doesn't know how to connect with people. He doesn't know how to be nice, and because of it, he's not acting. He wants people to leave him alone, and thinks this way of doing so is the best option. Beyblading truly does make Kai. The emotional Kai we see in battles is the real Kai, not anything else. Kai portrayed the theme that loneliness is dangerous and the extreme effects it can have on you. Kai was someone who was always alone. His father left his family to focus on Beyblading, which made Kai hate Beyblades due to his family leaving him. His grandfather, however, still forced him to do Beyblade to do his bidding and get the power of other Bidbies for him. Kai never showed much emotion except for when he's battling, and he's a damn good blader. He was one of the best and gave it his all every battle. The lack of family warmth and support shapes Kai's stoic and reserved demeanor, creating a foundation for a solitary nature. Kai's past really makes him who he is. I feel like his past could have been shown more to us, but from what we've seen, we can tell just how off he is. Being orphaned to go to Russia and train as a person from a rich family is not something normal. He hated Beyblade and despised it because of what it took from him. When you dive more into Kai's psyche, it reveals layers of complexity that contribute to his overall character. His stoicism and reluctance to express emotion stems from a deep-seated fear of vulnerability rooted in his troubled past. The gradual unraveling of these emotional barriers throughout the series adds an emotional depth to Kai's character, making him more relatable and human. As the show goes on, Kai is trying to be a better person, and especially with people. In V-Force, he is the most willing at times, which still isn't a lot, but good for him. We see him be vulnerable at times and not know what can come next. Through his hard exterior, he can just be a boy with a troubled past. Even if Kai doesn't want to always admit his love for his friends, he sure knows when to show up at the right moments. He's always popping up to be there when his friends need help, and he doesn't feel a need to resent them for it and instead be there. One moment I seen from Kai was when he left the team to explore for 2 hours and says, "What was I thinking?" Letting themselves explore this place by themselves. They've been gone over 2 hours now. Something must have happened. I'm the leader. I'm supposed to be out there. This right here shows that he felt bad for his actions and knew as team leader he should have been there. Kai liked to disappear without telling anyone, and this time it backfired. He knows the dangers of the world and wanted to be there to protect the group. We don't see this Kai many times, but he shows his compassionate side once in a while. But also Kai is known to just try to care for himself, as he finds out if anyone else in his team loses, then he could lose as well, and he goes with his famous quote, "There's no Kai in team." Kai follows his mantra of being alone. It's all he knows. He tries so hard to not invite people into his space. It makes you think, why is he like this? What makes him follow this path of loneliness? Now, Kai's quest for identity is a recurring theme that resonates throughout the series. As an orphan and an outsider in the Hiwatari family, he grapples with questions of belonging and self-worth. This internal struggle serves as a driving force behind his relentless pursuit of excellence and seeking validation and acceptance through his achievements in the Beyblade arena. Sometimes with Kai, it's like he doesn't know who he wants to be. Does he want to be someone who goes for absolute power? Does he want to be a great friend who cherishes his teammates? Does he want to give it all away and quit Beyblading? We ask ourselves this many times through the series, and it makes you think, who does Kai want to be? I think Kai wants to work hard and be the best, but also has his doubts about his friends and the people around him. He's so relatable because he wants to do it all by himself. He's worried about abandonment and people leaving as he knows himself and how he can be. He's someone who is very hard to understand and connect with. Kai seeks acceptance a lot of times through his battles, wanting to be acknowledged through his strength and how good he is because of it. He thinks as long as he is strong, nothing can get to him. He's a very emotional character through Beyblading, though which is what makes him so capturing. He cannot put down something that is so inspiring for him. When he Beyblades, it lights a fire inside of him, something that you can only know if you were a Beyblader. This was evident in his match against Brooklyn. He has a passion like no other and eventually can come to terms with who he wants to be and what his goals are. Emily from Team All-Stars once called him out for this one time, saying why does he stay back from his teammates a lot of the time, and why is he such a loner? She thinks it's because if Kai was around them more, he would actually start to like them, and that is his biggest fear. This is a bit wrong though, as Kai does care for people, he just has a weird way of showing it. His upbringing caused a lot of this as he grew up as an heir to a rich family that owns a huge corporation. Even with this, he was forced to train in the Abbey in the cold land of Russia near other kids to develop skills. He was an outcast there compared to the other kids, as he's a rich kid and was the most powerful blader there. He cannot get others to understand him and therefore has accepted it that no one else will. He doesn't know how to be normal and has accepted it. His personality stems from everything that has happened to him. He would rather stay alone because he can't understand the concept of friendships. He doesn't know why anyone would want to be friends with him. This is the same guy that was abandoned by his own father and now has a fear of being left by anyone else that he puts close to him. That's why his relationship with Ray is so important. Ray is the closest to Kai in age and mentality in the Blade Breakers. While in the first season, Ray is probably the closest thing Kai has to a friend. Kai cares for Ray, but he's not good at showing it, and Ray plays along with it because he's the closest thing to getting to Kai. They are together in the most of the series like a duo, and Kai is there a lot for Ray to help him with his emotional issues. One of Kai's darker moments is when he ends up getting Black Dronzer from Boris and abandons his friends. Black Dronzer had an amazing type of power that Kai craved to have, and it made him realize even more that he was destined to wield that power alone. In the next few episodes, he completely abandons everything, only using Black Dronzer's power to take everything from the opponents he faced. He was drawn to the darkness the most here and just went off script in his own thing. His memories of the Abbey brought back wishful thinking, and you could see at first that the uncertainty on his face from seeing his old training grounds. Kai would go on to join the Demolition Boys, shocking everyone. He would then go on to steal the Bit Beast of All-Stars and White Tiger. This part of Kai was being drawn into the darkness, and I think it stemmed from being too weak. Kai underestimated his friends and felt like they were not needed for him to win. He wanted to achieve victory all alone by himself, and the forces of Black Dronzer would consume him. Kai loses to the Blade Breakers and realized just how much of a loser he had become. He finally realized that his team never lost and how powerful they were as a team. This was a good awakening for Kai, going down a dark path early and still being accepted by his friends, even if he won't admit it. In that moment, he needed his friends with him and they needed to save him. Kai couldn't believe after all the things he had done, his friends were still there to save him and be there for him. This was the first time he actually felt wanted and appreciated. He's not good with people, so he had no clue of his impact on the team. That's why he stays to himself, because he tries to stay out of the crowd, but the crowd wants to see him succeed. For so long, he's used to being alone and fighting for himself. He's not used to having friends who care for him. He was abandoned as a child and now has haunted him since. Kai will go through great lengths for his friends, show passion, and be a part of the group, just to throw it all away time and time again. I've seen him do this so many times, it's actually unbelievable. At some points in the story, I question why he keeps wanting to do this. His character is so out of tune with people, he has a different approach for things. Like in V-Force, how he did not want to rejoin the team and said once was good enough. He's prideful down to the core, and we see that a lot from Kai, but there's still more to him inside that isn't conveyed so easily. Kai can easily be caring, but it takes some time as he befriends a kid named Wyatt. Wyatt was a huge fan of Kai and wanted to be just like him, but Kai didn't care. After Wyatt loses control of the Cyber Bit Beast, causing him to go insane and eventually die. The guilt that follows Kai makes him hallucinate when going against Goki. Kai blames himself for what happened to Wyatt, as he was counting on Kai to be there and Kai could not help him. If Kai were such a terrible person, he wouldn't feel this way about Wyatt. He barely even knew Wyatt that long, and yet is still so caring for him. This is what made him unique, battling between friendship and solitude. He was someone who wanted to solve everything by himself. He had no time for losers. One of the best moments for me in V-Force was Kai going up against Zeo. He had everything to prove after battling King and Queen and wanting to rematch Tyson in the finals. He goes on to lose against Zeo and gets Dronzer taken away from him. This time he acknowledges how Dronzer has always been there for him even in difficult times. Kai gets very dramatic again here, wanting to quit Beyblade because he wasn't good enough to protect Dronzer. After some convincing from Hillary, Kai battles Tyson to help him with his match against Zeo. Now is the time for the team to be together more than anything, and Kai knew that and decides to help. He wants Tyson to win and do what he couldn't do to prove all odds. I think this is a great moment as it leads to some of the best episodes ever in G-Revolution. Personally, I like Kai's outfit the best in G-Revolution. It was really a step up from before, and this outfit really shows who he is. White scarf around him again with purple pants and a jacket and an unusual belt. Now let's talk a bit about Dronzer. The evolution of Dronzer throughout the series parallels Kai's personal growth, emphasizing the interconnectedness between a Blader and their Beyblade. I like Dronzer being Kai's Beyblade as it is a red phoenix symbolizing death and rebirth. There's many times throughout the series where Kai lost his Dronzer and had to come back and reattain it. I also felt like with every improvement from the Bay, we got to see a different Kai and how he has evolved through the series. It's only right that the Phoenix is the one who is paired up with Kai, and after the end of the series, how Dronzer perishes away, but Kai is still there. The rebirth of Kai happened many times where he didn't look like himself and almost had to recreate himself in many ways to grow and evolve in the show. His biggest rebirth from death has to be in G-Revolution when he lost to Brooklyn and Romero helps him remember what he's fighting for. My favorite version of Dronzer is Dronzer Gig in G-Revolution. The highlighted purple look was epic and nice to see a change in his Bay. Kai's character arc is punctuated by moments of sacrifice and redemption, from risking his well-being in battles to making tough decisions for the sake of the team. Kai undergoes a profound transformation. These acts of sacrifice not only showcase his commitment to his goals, but also mark key moments in his journey towards redemption and self-discovery. Kai did a lot as a leader of the Blade Breakers and was always the one spark of hope that they always had. He always made the tough decisions and went after the best to be the best. He eventually goes on his own path for himself to seek redemption. Many times he doesn't think his friends would support him. If I had to define Kai's journey, it would be misery is company. Kai hates company and sees everyone as a burden. He had to learn that his friends are there for them and he can't be so selfish and unaware. Kai is a natural asshole. It's normal for him to be like this. He's not good with people and doesn't know how to talk to them, especially old people. He has grown a lot since the beginning and has gotten to a point where he can at least be more socially aware. His natural persona of reserved and quiet is still in him though. Now in the G-Revolution season, Kai has an unusual love for stray cats. Maybe he thinks of himself like that. Cats often represent mystery and independence. Kai is constantly near cats in this season and it almost seems like he can relate to them more than humans. They are peaceful and quiet just like Kai and are just doing what it takes to survive. It's actually funny when Kai goes to pet a cat and he runs off and Kai says what a grouch. That's actually ironic coming from him. With Kai and cats, it seems like every time you get close, they run further away from you. But when you're actually close with the cat and they like you, they don't mind you at all. This is how Kai operates in a sense as well. Kai can be a little dramatic when he loses to Brooklyn. He gets the persona of a strayed cat lying in the streets and lost. This is really unusual as you know Kai comes from a rich family and he lost a Bay battle and acts like he's homeless. The use of cats and connecting it to Kai was great. We can see just how similar both of them are. Stray cats can be looked at as a spiritual messenger, serving as a reminder to slow down and look within and rediscover the wonder of the present moment. This is exactly the message Kai needed at the time and it highlighted to an insane moment of purpose and a blader spirit for Kai in his match against Brooklyn. Kai's battle versus Tyson is also one of the best you will ever see in Beyblade history. Kai did everything to lead up to his highly anticipated matchup. He left Tyson's team and joined the Blitzkrieg Boys just for this moment. He knew it could eventually lead him to something he's been looking towards, battling Tyson in the final match. There's only one person on his mind and that's why he didn't care about leaving. All he wanted to do was face off against Tyson once again. This moment showed how much Kai respects and holds Tyson to. He knows how great of a blader he is and wanted to prove his worth against Tyson. I think the final battle of V-Force changed Kai's perspective on Tyson as he is the one to hold the title of the best blader. Kai saw something in Tyson since the day he defeated him in their first encounter. He has seen Tyson grow into the person he is now and he has won and lost, but every time he gets back up. Whenever a member of the team fell, it was Tyson who would pick them back up. Kai acknowledges that he can never be like Tyson, the uplifter and inspiring person that people can see him as, so instead he realizes his only worth is to defeat Tyson. He isn't Tyson and can only showcase himself through strength. That's why he went to such lengths to get ready for Tyson. Pretty cool moment here between the two and to see Kai be vulnerable a bit and admit his weaknesses. All this to eventually lead into my favorite match of the series ever, which is Kai versus Brooklyn. Now the first time was actually crazy to see. This was a given theme of hard work versus talent. It was a complete masterclass from Brooklyn and it looked like he didn't even try. Brooklyn didn't have to work for anything. He was exceptionally gifted and good at everything he touched. This was extremely frustrating for Kai as Brooklyn didn't know the value of hard work. It was at first believed that no matter how hard anyone practiced or tried, they could not reach Brooklyn's level and be able to defeat him. Kai was ultimately defeated, drowning into darkness from Brooklyn and Zeus's reign. It was a crazy match and to see someone like Brooklyn come out of nowhere was such a shock. Kai looks to find a return of blading, but Dronzer was not following his commands. Romero ends up seeing him and helps him get out of his slump. See, there's a big reason for all of this. Brooklyn really pissed Kai off a lot and he's in denial about it. Kai's new Beyblade he got reacts more to Kai's raw spirit inside of him this time, thus not giving him full control at first. However, he was able to master it in a few minutes, which would normally take weeks to do. Kai needed to regain his blading spirit and use it once again to take on Brooklyn. Kai is so upset with Brooklyn because now is another person in his way to get to Tyson. Brooklyn is also like another Kai in a sense, being alone a lot and having immense talent. Kai was humbled that day and realized that he needs more than skill to win. Kai had to tap into his spirit against Brooklyn and to use a wide range of emotions. For Kai, his battle spirit is based off of his anger. He can finally use his anger to draw his raw power more than ever before. Kai was upset and mad about Brooklyn's appeal to the game. Kai takes everything serious and thinks of Beyblade as more than a game. He is always learning from every opponent he faces, trying to perfect his craft, whereas Brooklyn already knows he will never lose, so he doesn't try. Because of this, Kai's overwhelming spirit is able to take down Brooklyn, and it took everything to do it. Kai and Brooklyn are very similar characters in their aspects of personality, but both differ in terms of blading and what they do with their emotions. Kai got the much needed revenge at the end of the day, and I will explore more of this match in my next video of the Beyblade analysis series, which will be Brooklyn's character. Kai's legacy and impact will forever be known throughout Beyblade history. He was a guy for the show and it was well worth it. He's easily my favorite character and was just someone who you could relate to as the series went on. I liked his introduction and just what he meant to the team and the series. He was someone so misunderstood at times but also relatable. He was compassionate but also selfish. He could be there for you and then leave you in a heartbeat. He was exactly what this show needed. Kai had accepted that he was not normal and everyone in his life would eventually abandon him, just like his family. It put a shackle on him eventually, not allowing him to go out and meet real friends. Through trials and battles, he finally learns what it means to have your teammates beside you at every match and cheer you on. Kai's final message would be to follow the path you believe in, no matter what happens. No matter if you win or lose, just keep your spirit strong. Kai Hiwatari, what a character. Well, I thank you guys for watching this video. If you're all the way at the end here, please like, comment, subscribe, as I'll be doing another character analysis on Brooklyn next, so look out for that. Also, let me know how I did on this analysis, since this is my first one and I'm excited to keep improving for each one that I do. Well, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.